Hey y'all, I don't know about you, but I love hanging out with my family and friends at the holidays and cooking and making treats in the kitchen. I really don't care anything about the gifts under the tree. I think the best gift is to hang out with your family and friends and just have fun. So this week we have had a blast just making all kinds of treats, and I'm going to show you the recipes that we've made. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll turn you around and let's get started.
All right, we're going to start with the Garten salted caramel nuts, and I'm going to have 4 cups of nuts. I'm using 2 cups of pecans, 1 cup of almonds, and 1 cup of cashews. You could also use walnuts, but I didn't have any. And put 1/4 of a cup of water in a pan and 1.5 cups of sugar. And you're going to stir this with a fork just until the sugar is moistened, and then you will not stir it again. And you'll just put it on medium-high heat and swirl it around. And you're going to do this for about 5 to 10 minutes. And you're going to do this until the sugar and water form caramel, and it's going to get that beautiful color. And you'll put vanilla in there off the heat, and then you're going to start putting in your nuts. Do this really quickly, and then you'll add some salt. Stir that around so it doesn't get stuck in your pan. Do it really fast, and have your pan lined with parchment paper or one of those seal pats like I have. Mix it up really quick and get it on that pan, or you're going to get cement. But it did come out of my pan after I soaked it with warm water. So just lay it on your sheet tray for about 3 hours, and then you'll be able to break it up like brittle and put it in your container. Y'all, this was so good. You will never have regular peanut brittle again. It was so easy to make. Ina Garten's recipe is so easy. You've got to make this. You will impress your family and friends with this. I'm telling you, you will not eat a regular peanut brittle ever again. This is a must-try recipe. Don't be scared of it. It was really easy. All right, this is an old favorite with a new twist. Instead of doing the cocktail sauce and the grape jelly, I'm going to use the Thai sweet chili sauce and some of my green pepper jelly. I love green pepper jelly during the holidays, and this is kind of like a sweet and spicy mix. And I'm just going to add about 3 tablespoons of the green pepper jelly. I wish I had some of the red left over. That would have been really good too. But just put those 3 tablespoons in there and mix that around. And I'm also going to add in a little bit of vinegar. I'm using the rice wine vinegar because it's a little bit sweeter, and you want just a dash in there so it'll make it less sweet. I like a little bit tangy and a little bit sweet. And I'm also adding in a little bit of some low sodium soy sauce, and that's all I'm adding in. I'm going to stir it and put it on high and cook it till it's nice and bubbly. Now we're going to make some rangoons. I'm going to make 2 different kinds. This one is a pepper jelly mix. I'm going to mix some green pepper jelly, and I'm going to mix some candied jalapenos together and mix it in with the cream cheese. And while that sets up in the refrigerator, I'll start on the crab rangoons. This is just half a block of cream cheese and half of a bag of the imitation crab. And I shredded that up, and I'm adding in a couple drops of the soy sauce, the reduced sodium soy sauce, and I did add in some garlic powder too. So now I'm just going to take the wrappers, and I'm just going to line them up on my baking sheet, and I'll just put like a small spoonful on the middle. You don't want it to be filled too full. And then you'll just take some water, a bowl of water. So you'll get some of that water on your finger and just moisten the edges of the wrapper. And I'll just bring the opposite ends together, and you're going to kind of form like a purse. And just press down on each side, and that's it. They're really easy to put together. And I don't use very much oil at all. You can see there's just a little bit in there, and all you have to do is just get them browned. By the time each side is brown, they're already ready. Look how gorgeous these meatballs turned out to be. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to eat. Next is a microwave Chex mix. You will never go back to the oven again after this one. And I'll have all the recipes linked down below. But this is a stick of butter, some seasoning salt, and some Worcestershire sauce. Put it in the microwave just until that butter is melted. And then you're going to put in your nuts, and you're going to put in your cereal. I'm using corn and rice cereal. And then I'm adding in some chopped up pretzels. You could add whatever you'd like in your Chex mix. And all you'll do is stir that up, put it in the microwave for 2 minutes, Take it back out, stir it, put it back in for 2 minutes. You'll do that 3 times, and this will be the best Chex Mix you've ever had, and it takes only minutes to put together. So I'll have that recipe linked down below. Y'all have got to try it. This is going to be a cranberry candy. I've got some chopped up pecans in here, and I've also got some chopped up pretzels, and I'm adding some white chocolate, and I'll just mix that around. That's it. It's just putting in whatever you like and putting some chocolate on there. That's what we do every year. We just try and find different combinations of the candy or the ingredients that we like. Next time though, I wouldn't add as many cranberries. It was really sweet, so I will add more nuts and pretzels to it, but all I did was put it on a cookie sheet with some parchment paper and put it in the refrigerator to let it cool off and to get set up. And here is something we make every year too. These are cherries. So I'm going to make some chocolate covered cherries and some chocolate covered peanuts. Those are just cocktail peanuts that I got from Aldi. And all I'm doing is just covering them with chocolate, and I'm going to stir it up and get everything coated. If you've priced chocolate covered cherries, they are outrageous. So these were a lot cheaper when you buy the dried ones from Aldi. So I'm just going to put them in these cute little tins that I've got. I've got some gnome ones and some regular Christmas ones, and I'll just put a couple spoonfuls in there. These are great as gifts. Take them to people you work with or you go to church with, and we love to munch on these while we watch a movie or we wrap presents. And I just fill these up, and then I'll pop them in the fridge and let them set up and get a little bit cold. But these are really good. And now I'm going to make bark. We were making these treats because we were going to a light show, and I wanted something for the drive. It was going to be like an hour, and we took the grandkids. So I'm making this because my niece can't have peanuts, so I'm going to make this with some cookies and some M&Ms. So I'm just going to spread out the white chocolate, and I'm going to add in some chocolate Oreos that I crushed up, and then I'll just top it with some M&Ms. You can make any kind of combination you like, but that's just what I had on hand. So I'm going to put the M&Ms on top, and then I'll just pop it in the fridge till it's set up. So I just broke that up and put it in a container with all the other candy. We're going on a road trip, so I'm taking that with us. We're going to go see some lights. So I've got everything packed up for our road trip, and it came in handy for sure. And now I'm going to make another candy. I think this is called White Trash Chex Mix, but I just put in what I had. I had some extra cereal. I put in the pretzels, the peanuts, and I'm adding in the chocolate. This is just the white chocolate, and I have been just putting it in jars and heating it in the microwave. So check out my short if you want to do that, because it's so much easier, and I can just have it sitting in the micro or in the crock pot waiting for me. And you can put in anything you would like. I've heard of honey grahams in there, but I don't want to make it too sweet. This was perfect, and I did add in some M&Ms. I thought I had bought the Christmas ones, but these were just regular, but they were okay. And I'm glad I did the minis, because that means it wasn't really sweet. I don't want something so sweet that you can't barely eat it. But this was really good. I wish I had added some nuts, but it was delicious. And I'm just going to set that up, and while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to make another appetizer. I've watched the Pioneer Woman do this forever, and I've never made it before, so I'm excited. It's one of those where you wrap bacon around the crackers, and I'm doing savory and sweet. You can put one with Parmesan cheese and one with brown sugar. And you just want to heat the oven to 250 degrees and take your crackers. I'm using the golden crackers, and you'll just take a tablespoon or a teaspoon of the cheese. I'm using some shredded up Parmesan, and you'll just add one of the teaspoons on the cracker, and then you'll wrap that bacon over the top. You got to do this really carefully because that cheese wants to come out. So I kind of tried to make the bacon wrap as tight as possible. And then you're just going to put that on your sheet tray and bake it for a couple of hours. Alright, and these are going to be the sweet ones. I'm using some brown sugar. I'm taking the teaspoon of brown sugar and putting it on the cracker, just like you would do the Parmesan cheese, and just wrap that bacon around it. I would make sure also that you put that on a wire rack or some parchment paper, because the brown sugar did leak out a little bit. So I'll come back in a little bit when they're done. And this is called a crack dip. And I know it's kind of crack dip because it has bacon in it, but I'm not adding bacon in mine. I don't know why. I just really don't like it in a dip. But I'm going to add in some cream cheese that has softened. And I'm also going to add in some sour cream. Two things you got to have on stock at Christmas time. And now I'm shredding up some cheese. I've got some regular cheddar cheese and also some Monterey Jack. I always have a lot of cheese stocked up at Christmas time too. And I'm going to go ahead and add in a can of green chilies. It didn't call for it in the recipe, but I thought it would be good in there. And you can add anything you want to a dip. Just add the kitchen sink if you want. I think that's just as good when you make up your own recipe, but that's the only substitution I'm doing. And I'm also adding in some ranch, and I'll have the recipe link down below. And I really didn't have a whole lot of ranch left, so I wish I'd have had more in that one. And then I'm going to add in some onion powder and garlic powder. The recipe didn't call for it, but you know I'm going to add that in there. So I'll mix that one last time and put it in the fridge and let it set up. And the longer it sits in the fridge, the better it gets. Now I'm going to start on some sliders. I don't know about you, but I do not like the sweet ones. So I found these. I've got some roast beef, and I've also got some turkey that Doug likes. He doesn't like roast beef, so I'm going to put half turkey and half roast beef on mine. I'm going to start with some Dijon mustard. I'm going to put that down on the bottom of the bread. And then I'm going to use some mayonnaise. If I would have had some horseradish sauce, I would have definitely put that on the bottom too. But I think the recipe called for that, but I didn't have it. But like I said, I'll link that down below. So now I'm going to lay down a layer on half of it of turkey and then the other half roast beef. Then I'm going to take some provolone cheese and lay over the top of the meat. And then I'll go ahead and lay the tops back on. And I've got some mustard there, some of that Dijon mustard, some Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of brown sugar. And I am going to pour that over the top of each bun. I'll just put them in the oven at 350 covered for about 25 to 30 minutes. Yeah, all of this was so good. Those bacon ones, the sweet and the savory, were both good. And I made some more of those rangoons, both kinds, the pepper ones and the crab ones. And that crack dip was so good. And these were really amazing. My daughter went crazy over them. She even took some to work the next day. And this is my plate. I made all those snacks and put them on my plate. And now I'm ready to go watch some football. I wasn't going to show this one, but I thought I would just go ahead and show you. If you have any kind of artistic ability, you can probably make them look better than I did. But I just took the Milano cookies and some melted white chocolate and just dip it on one side for the beard. And I've got those googly eyes, and I'm pressing that in for the eyes. And you want to let this kind of chill in the fridge and let that get hard, and then you'll put these red hots for the noses. I mean, I think it was cute. They weren't perfect, but they don't have to be. I made them for my grandkids and they loved them. So just put your little nose on there, and I had some red chocolate, so I just put that on the top. You could use white chocolate and use some red dye, and then I just put a little bit more of the white down there to make the rim of his hat. Didn't do all that great, but it was still okay. It still looked okay. And the boys really loved them. I did put a little marshmallow on the hat to make them look a little better. They really loved them. I mean, they weren't the best looking cookies, but I think they were cute. I hope y'all enjoyed watching. I will have all the recipes linked down below in the description box. And I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas spent with your family and friends. And I'll see y'all in the next video.